Tonight at 6, we start with an update out of Fairbanks. The Office of Special Prosecutions has completed its review of the deadly officer-involved shooting there that happened back in May.
Well, they've ruled the officers involved were legally justified in using deadly force against 34-year-old Thomas Bean. Now, the names of those officers and the troopers who responded are on your screen. Investigators say it all started when law enforcement was dispatched to what they call a physical disturbance on Washington Drive on May 12th.
That's when police say Bean shot at officers with a semi-automatic rifle. Officers say they fired back and killed Bean. Later on, the body of another man, 29-year-old Jesse Bidgood, was found. He was believed to have been shot by Bean.
And all new at 6, the all clear has been given after a reported robbery, a bank robbery investigation in Anchorage. Police say it happened at the Wells Fargo location on Huffman Road just after 3 o'clock this afternoon. By about 4:45, officers gave the all clear for the business to reopen, people to enter again. We are working to get more details about what happened there. And a cabin near Miller's Market in Houston is considered a total loss after catching fire this morning.
One person was in the cabin but made it out alive. The Houston Fire Department says it was caused by an electrical extension cord failure. That person suffered a minor electrical burn and refused medical care. Witnesses say the fire may have started around 8 when they heard an explosion.
Looked out. I thought I heard somebody scream, so I looked out my curtain window, and of course it was nobody screaming, but I seen flames or smoke coming from the other side of the cabin right next to me. And I thought to myself, well, that's where the blind man lives, and he ain't got no stove. And then I noticed the smoke wasn't, no barbecue.
Now, that witness and another person say that they helped move the owner of the cabin to safety. No other structures were damaged.
Transitioning now to our forecast. The rain is back today. Melissa's saying more is coming.
All right, she joins us now with the forecast. What a change from yesterday, Melissa.
Yeah, right. Hopefully you got the chance to soak in some of those rays yesterday before this rain moved in this afternoon. It is going to stick with us for about the next 24 hours. We're already up to 300 of an inch of rain in Anchorage. Look at Portage, though. More than 8/10 there, about 1/3 of an inch in Cordova. Seeing that heavy rain also extending into Yakutat, about 6/10 of an inch for you, about a 10th in Ketchikan, but a lot more is coming. You see those raindrops on the Camerlands in Ketchikan, where temperatures are sitting in the low 50s, seeing 50 degrees in Palmer as well, 53 in Anchorage with that rain still coming down. In Fairbanks, close to 60. That's where we have some sunshine tonight, and you'll hold on to sunny conditions across the interior tomorrow as well. But further south, again, seeing those rain showers from south central into southeast. That is where the heaviest rain will be. Flood watches in effect for those southern regions. 2 to 5 inches of rain on the way from tonight all the way through Saturday night. So again, localized flooding, streams, rivers will likely be running high, if not spilling their banks as we head into the weekend. This is all tapping into moisture that extends across much of the northern Pacific. Those showers will stick with most of south central as well for your Friday, with highs in the mid-50s. Back up close to 60 and sunny again in Fairbanks, but be prepared for that heavy rain in Juneau. Mostly cloudy with just a few light showers in Bethel, highs there in the low 50s. And we'll take a closer look at the rest of that weekend forecast here in a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Melissa. See you in a few. It's been 2 months since Congress cut more than $1 billion in public media funding. In Alaska, leaders for the state's 27 public media stations are now dealing with the impact. It translates to a permanent $15 million loss. In Valdez, for example, our investigative team found public radio station KCHU now operating on 25% of their budget.
The station's challenges reflecting impacts seen across dozens of remote communities who say they rely on public media information since internet and cell phone service is not always guaranteed. Some in those communities say they feel caught in the middle of a national political debate.
So public media supporters say they're trying to continue serving communities with what they perceive as essential information, while supporters of the cuts say they were necessary due to taxpayers funding what they think was biased information.
Our investigative team's Johnson Kuhn traveled to the small community of Valdez to find out more about their concerns for the future. Johnson.
That's right. While Valdez only has a population of around 3,800 people, KCHU serves an area that's 46,000 square miles. That's 7 rural communities. Now, the director points to something like the Exxon oil spill to say the station has provided critical emergency updates for decades. But now, with those funding losses, he says he's not sure how long they'll be able to continue providing that service, especially after losing their AM tower.
Well, Johnson, on top of that, the station's antenna had to come down. Was that in August? So are they broadcasting to anyone?
Yeah, they are. They are still getting a signal, and that's coming from the FM broadcast. But as the director explained, the quality isn't always guaranteed. So in the past, what he was hoping they'd be able to do is use a grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. So that would have paid to fix the problem, but that was also cut. So this is the type of situation that small communities tell us they're dealing with all across the state.
And finally, public media supporters think they have what could be a solution.
That's right. So it's called the Voices Across Alaska Fund. The Alaska Community Foundation launched this last month, and they say they're trying to fill that $15 million gap. For instance, the Rasmussen Foundation had a big donation this week, and our political reporter, Will Courtney, will be working on that story for everybody tomorrow.
All right, Johnson, thank you very much. You can read Johnson's full coverage and watch all 3 of our stories concerning public media funding on our website and our mobile app. And if you have a tip for our investigative team, they want to hear from you. Email to investigates@ktuu.com. On your screen, a couple of ways to reach out.
And 4 Alaska lawmakers are heading back home after a trip to Israel. That's after they attended the 50 States One Israel conference.
In that conference, they heard from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He spoke. They went to historical monuments. They visited some of the sites of the October 7th attack by Hamas.
Alaska House Majority Speaker Chuck Kopp told us today that for him, the trip reinforced what he sees as a relationship between Alaska and Israel. Their visit began the day before Israel launched a ground invasion into Gaza Tuesday. Weeks ago, the World Health Organization said malnutrition raged through Palestine, Gaza, because of this conflict.
We asked all Alaska lawmakers for their opinions on the conflict and if the trip changed their thoughts. As of right now, none of the lawmakers have responded. All right, story time, something you do not see every day. Police responding to a neighborhood disturbance. It turned out to be 2 black bears inside of a parked SUV in Ketchikan.
I don't know
Oh, no. Well, you heard that. The bears inside honking the horn in the front seat. Police kept their distance and talked to the owners. The SUV's hatch was opened remotely, and the bears eventually left, not harming anyone. Police are happy this odd situation turned out safely.
It's a comical video, unless you're the owner of the vehicle, I think. There was a bit of damage, so they're going to have to deal with that. But, everybody else that has no investment in the vehicle, it is kind of a funny-looking video.
Yeah, hopefully insurance helps those folks
I was
out.
going to say, what's that policy called?
Police remind everyone, please lock your doors and do not leave any food in your vehicles.
And as we celebrate the birth of our nation 250 years ago, we're looking back on Alaska's history as well.
Will Courtney, Tracy Sinclair, they give us some highlights from today's edition.
This week in Alaska history, a lot going on as always. And Will, some of your favorite topics.
Absolutely.
Politics.
Yeah, well, let's start with Juneau. The ground was broken for Juneau this week in history. That's for the state capitol, which is actually partially crowd raised by the residents and citizens of Juneau. So that's one. Then we got the municipality of Anchorage. We're celebrating our 50th anniversary of the municipality of Anchorage, and that was formed this week. And then finally, just a hint at some of the other stuff we talked about. The Fairbanks Daily News Miner, I believe the second oldest newspaper in Alaska, they had their first publication this week in Alaska history.
That is so cool. And of course, I brought the interesting story of some animals at the Alaska Zoo going on a walkabout after somebody opened their cages. And that was really interesting because it's really fun to look back at some of the stories that we did so many years ago. We're having a lot of fun with this series for We the People, and you can catch all of these by going to our website and our free streaming platforms and clicking on that tab that says We the People.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.